Now, if you're not using AI in your reselling business, then you need to. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use AI in your reselling business, and that's not just with cross-listing and systemizing the listing and distribution process, but actually helping you to scale your reselling business through AI. So I'm going to head over to my laptop right now and show you exactly how I use resale and how it helps me scale my reselling business and how it can change the game for you. This is it here. It is on ChatGPT. It's called Reset AI, so it's pronounced resale, I think, but the AI obviously standing for artificial intelligence. So let me just clip this mic on and start asking it a few different things and see how it actually works. So obviously, like a lot of people at the moment are using Vinted monitors and like Vinted bots, so it'll ping you when a certain item gets listed within a certain brand or category. However, the one thing that I find with that, and for a lot of people starting, is like, how do you know what to buy and what to sell and how much for? It's great that it's going to ping you and tell you when an item is available and it's say £13.99, but it's like, how do I know whether I'm going to make a profit on that? So for example, you could upload like a picture of one of the Vinted listings that you've just been pinged for, because you're also missing out on a lot of money, because there might be some that you could make money on, but you decide not to buy because you think there's not enough of a margin in there. But what if that is a more rare item, or there is a demand for it, there's not many on the market? Rather than just going for what we know sells and what we know we can make a profit on, there is also a lot of money missed out on items where you don't necessarily know the value or worth of it. So I've just added in the photo now. It says it is a Nike pullover hoodie in a red-black colorway with a neutral embroidered swoosh logo. This style falls squarely into the popular vintage modern Nike. So it says a pullover hoodie, gives them the style, the details, the condition, and also a pricing guide. So it says don't pay any more than £10 to £15 when sourcing from wholesalers or sniping online. Resale price £20 to £35. Brand prominence is Nike, scores high on style demand. So again, extracts information from styles and trends at the moment. And also it says what platforms to sell it on. At Depop and eBay, it's recommending I sell it for £25 to £35 on. So what I could then say is write me a title and description with a price. And just like that, it's giving me a title with all of the necessary keywords. Vintage Nike red and black embroidered swoosh hoodie, that is perfect. It's giving me a description there. Authentic Nike pullover hoodie, red and black colorway, la la la. Details, size, insert size, condition, excellent vintage condition, no state. You can import a photo of the tag and it would also extract the size for you. And then also cotton blend, tells you all that, and then price £30 or best offer. So I could literally copy and paste that title and description into my Vinted. You could use this tool on your phone as well, because I know obviously I don't list on my laptop, so it's pointless me having it on my laptop, but I could use it on my phone, and instantly I've got descriptions then. It could also give you a description template. Perfect. It's giving me a universal one there. I could even ask it then to take out all of the options as well, so it would literally just be item, size, condition, description. It's engaging, it's not overly consumed with emojis and all that kind of stuff. It's very clear, and then also obviously the measurements there as well. Now, one of the biggest issues I see with resellers and the people that I coach is always the business legal side of things. So like your accounting, your softwares, and also running the business itself. You got to be very, very careful with so many different laws and stuff in place, specifically with resellers now as well. You've got to be very careful with how much you're making and where you're putting that money, and also what you're telling HMRC you're earning as well. So I'm going to say I'm a reseller. I make, say, £2,000 revenue. Should I set up? So I've given it quite a specific one. I should have made that a bit more vague. But yeah, hopefully that gives us a good answer there. So as you can see, it's referenced one of the resources that I think it's been trained off. So it says here, you need to register as a sole trader. You can earn more than £1,000 a year from self-employment. So reselling counts. You're actively running a business for profit. And it's actually linked where you can do it, because again, there's a link in this PDF here. You must submit a self-assessment. So it tells you the dates, what classes you are, and it also roughly work out how much tax you will be liable for when it takes away your personal allowance. Now this is up to date with the Gov website. So for example, in April, when some of the tax reliefs and tax benefits changed, or even when they went up, it would have updated all of that, I assume, as well. So it tells me what expenses I can track. It tells me where to register for a limited company. Tells me about VAT as well, and also gives me some bonus tips as well. Keep clean records from day one. Add a simple disclaimer to your shop. Sole trader registered with HMRC. That's really good for trustworthiness as well. That's a really good point. And it also gives me then an actionable step then, and how to set aside profits as well. How do I, because that's one of the biggest issues that I found when I started as well, was cash flow, how to manage cash flow. And that was just down to where I was putting my money, how I was using it, and that's definitely something that a lot of people are struggling with at the moment. So it's given me a 40, 30, 20, 10 rule. So 40% buy in-season stock, 20% for tax, 10% for emergency buffer for big investments, and then 20%, this is what you can pay yourself to keep liquid. And it says 20% there you pay yourself. Obviously you could pay yourself less or just pay yourself whatever you're due to cover outgoings and stuff like that. And then 10% then to put into marketing, better camera styling, or even just save it or invest it into like stocks and shares or index fund and stuff like that. So that's a really good way of doing it. I just do the 70% rule. So I just do 70% for stock, 20% to pay myself, 10% then I put aside, and that would basically replace the tax and savings. But that probably might not be the best way to do it, just because this long term is better, because you're not going to get hit with a massive tax bill and then all of a sudden run away because you haven't got any money aside. Whereas the way I would do it, or have done it before, means that then I do have to cough up my tax bill at the end of the year. However, obviously, as long as your cash flow is good enough and you know that when the tax year is coming to an end and you're ready to pay your tax, that you've got cash there, then obviously it's not a problem. However, if you are starting out or you want to be safe, then I would recommend this. And then it actually breaks it down then into what that looks like monetary wise, how to invest it back into business or high ROI stock. It actually gives you examples, again, based off PDFs, tells you how much to pay. So I'm actually going to ask it now. There's loads there. Sell-through rate, how to track your sell-through rate, simple finance tools. It breaks down all these different business, ease, language, whatever you want to call it, metrics and COGS and STR ROIs, which no one really knows what they mean. It's explain what they are there. And then a little 5-minute weekly finance routine as well, which is quite a good idea. £250, that's just based off the amount that I find most people have at this current moment in time to invest in stock. Obviously, a lot of you might have more, some of you might have less. £250 to invest in stock. So I'm actually going to go with a table option, response 2. But it's given us 2 responses here. So let's make sure you flip that £250 to £750 with a solid summer strategy. I like that. It's there we go. Nike, Adidas t-shirts, cost per piece £2.50, sell for £12 to £20, solid. Festival shirts, Hawaiian 2 to 4, sell for £15, solid. Streetwear, Stussy, ACG, Fubu, 6 to £10, sell for £30 to £50. Pattern shorts, Nike or Adidas. Women's wear, Ralph, vintage, stuff like that. It's given us example of a £250 investment plan. So 15 Nike tees would cost £67, 10 pattern shirts would cost £35, festival shorts would cost £30, and stuff like that. So they work well on Depop, Vinted and eBay, which is true. I find that Ralph sells really well on all 3 platforms. It says there Ralph polo shirts £4 to £6, sell for £15 to £20. That's bang on. Tommy tees £4 to £7. Vintage Wholesale Supply website. Then this is where you would just cross apply it. Go to Tommy Hilfiger t-shirts. How much are they charging? £5.70, right in the middle of that price gap there. Bang on, again, because it's extracting data from online wholesalers and also, you know, guides and price guides that have been uploaded, and it's then found the best price and also then extracted data for what people typically pay for these type of products. 18 to 25 is pretty accurate for Tommy tees, specifically for eBay. There we go. It's actually given us suppliers where you can buy those products from. How sick is that? And then it's giving you an Instagram DM template on how to approach a wholesaler. Like, this is the kind of stuff that you don't get from a human response. And if you do, you got to pay for that time and real ideas. Video ideas, sorry. I don't know why I said that. Unbox with me, wholesale haul reveal, show raw unboxing of your £250 Tommy order, highlight rare clean finds, add ASMR, packaging material and hanger clicks, and then there's a hook there as well. Hooks are so important. However, it's the most tedious and probably one of the harder things to actually brainstorm and come up with. Glow up, that's a good idea. Show the wrinkled item when it comes out the bale, and then show how you wash it, and then the final shot on the hanger. How I turned £250 to £750 breakdown. Day in the life of a part-time reseller. How much I made this week reselling. Those type of videos do really well. They're your viral videos. And then these are your evergreen content. So evergreen is basically content that is helpful and useful to other people, and it's basically always going to be relevant. It's just advice videos that are always going to be there that people always need to see. So now with AI becoming so popular and also very, very accessible nowadays compared to last year where people didn't really know what it was and weren't really using it, I've seen a massive growth this year in people using it, not only in business but in reselling businesses. However, there's definitely a gap where people aren't using it. They're using it for the operation side of things. So like I said, cross-listing, extensions on your Vinted and Depop where you're sending out messages to people. However, there is T's and C's in Vinted and Depop, which state you can't use third-party bots and tools to enhance your reselling business. So you got to be very, very careful when you're using these reselling tools and Chrome extensions that you don't get banned. They can shadow ban your listings. They can even take down your listings or even block your account. eBay's different because eBay allows you to use that, and eBay is like like having your own website. It's very customizable. You have a lot of control over how you use it. However, you've got to be very careful with Depop and Vinted. So I've been looking at different ways, and I've been looking at other tools and how you can actually integrate AI in a different part of your business. And that is more with the assistant side of things and how it can actually help you scale, because these cross-listers aren't going to help you scale to 6 figures. They might assist you, but they're not going to get you to that point. To a point where an AI tool can replace a staff member, where it can replace a director or someone on board, or it can extract knowledge online that me and you don't have yet. But yeah, you get the idea, and you can be really, really creative with how you use it. And I'm kind of in the mindset now, and this is what most people should be doing, is when you need help and when you feel like you're stuck, the first thing you can do, or you should do, is go straight to AI, because it can help you so much. It can use figures and statistics and scrape it from online reselling platforms and give us real statistics. Then they're going to help us to make more money, help us to find winning products, and also be there 24/7. Because that's the one thing with AI, is it never turns off. I turn off when I go to bed at night, and when I wake up in the morning, I turn back on. Whereas this doesn't stop. You can use it all day, every day, and it obviously, AI beats human power. Rather than watching hours of YouTube videos that don't get to the point, or searching all over Google and getting unreliable responses, you can go straight to ChatGPT, straight to AI, and obviously search that. However, this AI is different because it's been trained based off real life resources, over 5 years of knowledge and experience, and thousands of minutes of live call footage, touching on all different topics in the reselling business, from A to Z, from start to finish, from beginner to intermediate. So it covers all angles of a reselling business, meaning you could ask it any single question in the world, and it'll be able to give you an answer based on anything you ask it. It also scrapes live data and trends from other sources on top of that as well. It's been taken from the best UK reselling content and coaching materials there is. Whether you're just starting or looking to scale, it touches on all of the following: inventory sourcing, so learning how to snipe on Vinted, what products to look for and how much to sell, like I mentioned a minute ago. Pricing guides, so it extracts prices from online and also pricing guides that it's been given, and then tells you how to price those items to stop you listing items for too much, or even selling your items for less than they should have been sold for, because that is where we miss out on huge profits sometimes. So it also gives growth strategy, as you saw then, so step-by-step guide on how to grow your reselling business from the behind the scenes and operations to then scale into physical warehouses and also employment. I use ChatGPT so much when I was looking to employ. I asked it, what should I be paying? How do I register an employee? How do I pay them? How is payroll worked? How do holidays get calculated? And it saved so many emails back and forth with my accountant, because that's one thing, again, like I said then with the lease, I could have emailed the landlord back and forth for hours and hours, probably days actually, waiting for responses on what certain things mean in a contract. Whereas if I uploaded this, it instantly knows exactly what business I'm running and how the lease applies, or how the payee, or how buying a warehouse applies to a reseller. Same with dealing with suppliers. Every bit of information applies to a business differently. When you ask ChatGPT for an answer, it applies it to a different business or a different real life scenario, or, specifically considering it's an American tool as well, it'll give you an American answer, and it's useless if we're in the UK, and I sometimes have to tell it that I'm from the UK. Well, you won't get this with that. Obviously, like I said, and like you saw then as well, it also gives content and social media advice, stop you from brainstorming for hours or repurposing old recycled content, and it'll give you fresh ideas, fresh hooks, and also scripts if you need it to as well. And finally, the most important bit is 24/7 support that you can turn to whenever you need it. You can ask it any question whenever you want, however you want, and it'll understand what you mean, what answer you're looking for, based off expert advice and real life scenarios. Unlike other AI tools, this has been trained off real reselling advice, not just recycled content. So you can turn this into your personal 24/7 coach, save more time, make more sales, and avoid more mistakes. So I put the link to this AI tool in the link of this description for you to go and use and get lifetime access to it. And along with that as well, you can join my free Discord below that as well, which is also a community of other resellers. Now, I do hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe on this video. It'd be much appreciated, and I'll see you in the next video.